Okay, boys and girls, today I'm going to read you Benny's Pennies by Pat Brinson and illustrated by Bob Barner. Benny McBride had 5 new pennies. "What should I buy?" he asked. "Buy something beautiful," said his mother. "Buy something good to eat," said his brother. "Buy something nice to wear," said his sister. "Woof, woof," said the dog. "Meow," said the cat. "Okay," Benny said, "I will." So Benny McBride, with his 5 new pennies, strolled out into the morning sun. A woman was cutting her roses. The woman's name was Mrs. Hill. "Will you sell me a rose?" asked Benny. "Will you sell me a rose for a penny?" "Yes, I will," said Mrs. Hill. Then Benny McBride, with his 4 new shiny pennies and a sweet-smelling rose, strolled on into the morning sun. A girl was baking cookies. Her name was Lucy May. "Will you sell me a cookie?" asked Benny. "Will you sell me a cookie for a penny?" "A cookie for a penny? Okay," said Lucy May. Then Benny McBride, with his 3 new pennies, his sweet-smelling rose, and a soft, warm cookie, strolled in the morning sun. A boy was making hats. His name was Michael Bess. "Will you sell me a hat?" asked Benny. "Will you sell me a hat for a penny?" "Oh, yes, yes, oh, yes," said Michael Bess. Okay, so how many pennies does Benny have left? Listen and see if you're right. Then Benny McBride, with his 2 new pennies, so if you said 2, you're right, a sweet-smelling rose, a soft, warm cookie, and a fine paper hat, strolled on in the morning sun. A butcher was cutting meat. His name was Mr. Hopper. "Will you sell me a bone?" asked Benny. "Will you sell me a bone for a penny?" "You're quite a shopper," said Mr. Hopper. Then how many pennies does Benny have left now? Listen and see if you're right. Then Benny McBride, with his 1 new penny, a sweet-smelling rose, a soft, warm cookie, a fine paper hat, and a big, meaty bone, strolled on in the morning sun. So if you said 1 penny, you're right. A man was catching fish. His name was Mr. Bill. "Will you sell me a fish?" asked Benny. "Will you sell me a fish for a penny?" "It's a deal," said Mr. Bill. Oh, so how many pennies does Benny have left now? Let's see if you're right. Then Benny McBride, with his sweet-smelling rose, a soft, warm cookie, a fine paper hat, a big, meaty bone, and a floppy, wet fish, but no new pennies, strolled on home in the morning sun. So if you said no pennies left, you would be right. I'm back, he called, and I bought what you said. Is it beautiful? Said his mother. Good, said his brother. I like it, said his sister. Woof, woof, said his dog. Meow, said his cat. Thank you, Benny, they all said together. You're welcome, said Benny McBride.